Actually, I am going 6-0 in the division because the rest of the division sucks.
This is the best division in football, Tori.
Take that step back. We are seeing the true quarterback that he really is, which he is not a very good quarterback.
Welcome to the Man Now, where we taking over. It's time to give you them facts. Won't miss a game or two, cause we here for you and we reporting all of them stats. We coming to you live to keep you updated. Broadcast across the country, we the fan favorites. Break the volume to the max and don't nobody touch it. We cross the topics off the list, addressing every subject. So if you ain't got a clue, then you can tune in and give it 24 hours and we back again. Breaking news, new scoops, we the top dogs. From the fields to the courts, we report it all. Buzzer beaters through your speakers, we the ones to call. Trust us for the news if it's got a ball. Giving you the top stories cause we love the turf. Tell a friend to tune in and where you heard it first. Yeah, you're listening to the Man Now. We taking over, it's time to give you them stats. Yeah, you listen to the Man Now. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them facts. Yeah, you listen to the Man Now. We taking over, it's time to give you them facts. Turn the speakers up a little loud. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them stats. Cause you listen to the Man Hour.
And what is up, everybody? Michael Buckheischer with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com and check out the merchandise page and to catch out the blog section as well. We will have a new blog posted tomorrow by our very own Drew, so be sure to check that out. You can check us out all on the Facebook applications as well, facebook.com/Man-Hour Sports Talk. And of course, now you can find us on TikTok as well, Man Hour Sports Talk. So with all that being said, guys, we are giving away a trip to Florida. So all you have to do is become a member. Go to youtube.com/Man-Hour. Click on the join button. If you become a $5.99 member or higher, you get a free entry into that Florida trip giveaway. So, and then also if you are a top chatter or a top point getter during the week, you get additional entries as well. But you do have to be a $5.99 member or higher to get in access into that Vegas trip. But before we get too carried away, we have to bring on the man, the myth, the legend himself, Beastie Combs himself. Combsy, what is going on tonight, brother?
What is going on, Buck? What is going on, Man Hour Nation? 313 The Flash. Everybody else that's listening to us over in the UK, drinking their tea, eating their crumpets. Buck, did you say we're giving away a Florida trip too? Is that
Florida
included
trip
with Vegas?
Oh, no. Did I say Florida?
You definitely said Florida.
I got Florida on the mind for some reason, but like I must be thinking about what we were giving a trip away to Vegas during the NFL
I got
draft.
excited. I was like, damn, how many trips are we taking? I'm like, what the hell?
How many trips do you want to take, Combs?
I'm like, Buck, are we getting paid for this and I don't know about it?
Yeah, we should be for how great of things that we do. But speaking of getting paid,
I agree.
Mr. Tori Anderson joins us tonight, and he is the breadwinner here at @manhour_Tori. What's going on tonight, Tori?
It's the fastest that get paid and the fastest that get. I can't say that on the air.
Is it positive test?
No.
Being fast there is not a good thing, just so you know. I don't care what she tells you.
Yeah.
I said I said it was going to please me, and that's it.
Wow. That's a left turn real
so
quick.
So Tori's the one that they say 87% of the time one of the partners goes home unhappy. Fortunately for Tori, 100% of the time it's her.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into some sports talk here as we take too big of left turn. We do got an exciting show happening. We are bringing back the infamous game of Guess Who tonight here on this Monday night. We are going to talk some Packers. We're going to talk Baker Mayfield. We're going to talk Buffalo. And, of course, we're going to talk Brandon BC Combs, Chicago Bears, coming up here in about 15 minutes. But we got to start it off first here. Guys, week one is just about in the books here now. And so, Tori, I'm going to kick it to you first. What is the biggest shock of you so far from week one?
Do we really got to talk about this? Do you really think I'm not going to go where I'm going to go?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to go with my Packers getting just waxed by the New Orleans Saints. They showed up and looked pathetic. Like, that looked like a team that hadn't played together all preseason. It looked like an offensive line that was patchwork. And it looked like a defensive coordinator that was calling his first game as a defensive coordinator. I am just not happy with the way things went. But what was it? I read a comment earlier about, I think it's like Herm Edwards said, basically the first 4 weeks of the regular season are the preseason because that's your offense getting into rhythm. That's all your starters actually playing together. So we'll see what happens. To me, that was the biggest shock. I thought that they would come out and play at least halfway decent. I wasn't expecting them to be world beaters. I expected them to win that game, but our defense looked awful.
So
Kamara, same new year, same defense.
So let me ask you this question. You said it takes 3 weeks to figure out your offense?
because most of the time they don't play a ton in the preseason.
Hey, Combs. Yes or no? Has Aaron Rodgers been in the league for 17 years?
Yes.
How long do you think it takes for him to learn an offense? I mean, it's been 17 years. Do you think he knows the offense by now?
Rhythm.
I would
There's a
think
big
so.
difference
I mean,
between
I would
knowing
think so.
your offense and getting
I hear a
into
lot of
rhythm with
excuses
your offense.
right now. That's what I hear. I hear blah 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 excuse.
Hey,
blah blah blah.
We're still
excuse,
tied for
blah,
first
blah, blah,
place with the
excuse.
Bears. The whole division's tied for first
Congratulations. That's something to be proud of.
place.
So
Doesn't matter.
so-
One game out of 17.
So, Tori, one of the biggest things that I, as a coach, the biggest improvement from a team is from week 1 to week 2, not the first 3 weeks. From week 1 to week 2 is your
Four.
biggest.
The week
biggest.
four.
No, it's not. In the biggest NFL is week
Who am
1
I
to
gonna,
week
who
2.
am I going to listen to? Mike Buckheister or Herm Edwards?
Hey, who has a winning record as a coach? Mike Buckheiser or Herm Edwards?
You've never been a head coach, so
I'm a head coach right now. What are you talking about?
you're the D coordinator.
It's still better.
He's the head coach
still
of the
better.
defense.
So I'm going with Herm Edwards because you've never been a head coach. I mean, Pop Warner doesn't count, buddy.
Oh yeah. But nonetheless, Brandon BC Combs, who is your biggest shock from the week 1 here?
My biggest shock, I would go with the Green Bay Packers, but I actually said that they were going to lose by 2 to 3 scores. So I'm not going to go with the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers, man.
Yeah.
I did not see the Pittsburgh Steelers coming out and going into Buffalo and doing what they did in week 1. And they weren't able to move the ball at all in the first half. I think they had 54 yards of offense in the first half. And then in the second half, all of a sudden the Buffalo punter decides that he's got icicles for fingers. You've got the freaking you got wide receivers dropping passes left and right who normally catch. I mean, Stephon Diggs had to have dropped at least 2 or 3 passes in that second half.
Yep.
It was pretty damn bad. And not only that, but that defense in the second half just went to sleep. They just went to sleep and let Pittsburgh do their thing and sustain drives and take time off the clock. Pittsburgh to me is easily the biggest shock of the weekend.
Tori, any thoughts on the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I will agree. That game never saw it coming. Never in a million years did I see them to play as well as they did. I thought they were going to get steamrolled. And Brandon and I talked about it last night. We're like, are we doing the same thing that like we've been doing to like the Patriots for like the last 10 years and being like, they're done this year?
Right.
Like they just find ways to win. And like I said, the big thing for them is they lose people and just replace them. Like, no big deal. Like,
I think this is more just crazy week 1 than it is us.
And I agree. And
We
we
talked
talked
too early.
Yeah, and we did. We talked about that last night too. And about like this is more of an anomaly versus what's going to be reality. I think you're going to see a Steelers team that's going to be up and down. They're going to pull out games like this where like, oh my God, they beat Buffalo. And then they go out and like, I don't even know if they play Houston this year, but like, oh, they just lost to Houston or Jacksonville. Like that's the way the Steelers team's going to go this year, I feel. And I think Brandon and I kind of agreed on that last night that we think it's going to be an up and down year for them.
Yeah, like I've been reading other people's blogs and watching their shows, and many people have the Pittsburgh Steelers winning this AFC North. 13-4, 12-5 type of situations here. And after watching that first half of the Buffalo game, did you guys sense like that game was just going to be a blowout? Like, it's like, man, this is not even going to be close.
Yeah, I thought it was just a matter of time before Buffalo just exploded, and that just never happened. Buffalo never caught their rhythm, and that's just, look, it was a shortened preseason. It was a different offseason because of the season that they had to have last year with no fans in the stands, and everything was just different. And then your starters don't play all preseason. So to expect them to just come out, and I think that's why we get so many crazy outcomes in week 1. Is because a lot of starters don't play in the preseason. And when you get like a guy like Josh Allen, who really, I mean, let's face it.
Did you say I was making excuses when I said that?
Huh?
You were saying I was making excuses. You said
I'm
excuses.
saying for a lot of teams, that's what it is. They don't play in the first. They don't play for the New England for the Green Bay Packers. It was the same old thing. They couldn't stop the run to save their damn lives. And then they allowed a mobile quarterback to pick them apart. And he only threw for 150 yards, but he threw for 5 freaking touchdowns.
Yeah.
There was no excuse there. That's the same Green Bay Packers defense that we watched all last year that could not stop the run. So no, to me that's why to me you were just coming up with excuses, because it wasn't that, it was old, new issues that just arise for week 1. It was the same old Packers that have been the same issue for probably the last 2 to 3 seasons on their defensive side.
So, I mean, like, you guys are talking about the surprises and like what shocked you. One thing that shocked me this Sunday was how the Patriots offense flexed on the Miami Dolphins, and they're going up and down the field, but they can never punch the ball into the end zone. Like I think the Patriots had like 450 yards versus Miami like 150 or something. Like, to me, like, that was just absolutely ridiculous. Like how crazy that Miami defense was willing to bend but like not break. So Tori, do you think this is maybe the staple of the Miami defense team is kind of like a bend don't break, and we're just going to hold you to like 3?
No, they've got the best secondary, honestly, in the NFL. They've got a decent front seven. They have a top 10 defense. I think this was more a defense that was finding themselves, that took an opponent with a rookie quarterback way too lightly. And the thing is, at the end of the day, did we have a W or did we have an L?
Right.
It doesn't matter, because the Green Bay Packers in 2010, that's how they won a Super Bowl. Their defense was literally bend but don't break that whole year. They would let people go from their own 20 all the way down to the other 20, but then they tighten up. Yeah. So, at that point, you're still going to win games at that point. You can have a defense like that as long as you're keeping people out of the end zone.
And that's the thing. People, I saw there were some Patriots fans that were like, Mac Jones showed that he wasn't ready and that the Patriots should have kept Cam Newton and all that. First of all, Mac Jones was 29 of 39 for 281 yards and a touchdown. As a Bears fan, I'd kill for a quarterback like that. And not only that, but his opposition, Tua, was only 16 of 27. His quarterback rating was 79.6, while Mac Jones' passer rating was 102.6. So to me, Mac Jones showed up. They did the things they needed to do. But again, and I said this earlier in the preseason, right now, Miami's just the better team. Right now, Miami is just puts everything together a little bit more because they've been there a little bit more. New England had a couple of key turnovers in the red zone as well. They were getting down, and that's not going to happen a whole lot in a Bill Belichick coach team. So I guarantee you next week, they're going to have that all cleaned up, and the players that fumbled aren't going to get as many touches, because that's how Bill Belichick runs his system. It's next man up, and he's going to find the next man, because that's just what Bill Belichick does. And this team's going to be all right. This New England Patriots team's going to be all right. I actually switched my prediction after that game and said that the Patriots are probably going to have a better season than the Dolphins, because I thought that game showed more about how the Patriots are ready to take the next step than it showed the Dolphins are ready to take the next step.
Tori, did you hear that Patriots will win the next, or the Patriots are second in the division?
No, that's not. Second division. It's still the Bills division to lose.
Yes,
it is. It's going to be a tight race between them and Miami. I'm going to give Miami the nod just based off experience. That's the only reason. Is they're a little bit more experienced than that Patriots team is.
But are they really more experienced? Because, a Bill Belichick coach team, that's a very veteran sound team. The defense has been there, at least 5 years. All of the offense is there. Really, the only new piece.
Half season ahead of Mac Jones.
Yeah, really the only new piece is the quarterback there.
Yeah,
right.
He was only a half season ahead of Mac Jones, and he's a whole lot of talent behind him.
In playing time. Right. But getting into that playbook, you don't get that. Is
talent
way more
level,
valuable.
Though, do you want Mac Jones or do you want Tua?
Right now, give me Mac.
Exactly. That's why the Patriots.
But
that's why
you don't.
I flipped, and the Patriots are going to be better in the long run.
But having that extra year in the playbook is a world difference.
You are
that
correct.
playbook. They, especially the Patriots. Look at when who was it? When Reggie Wayne went there. When Chad Johnson went there, and they both asked to be released because the playbook was ridiculously hard.
Name me one organization that has shown more than the Patriots over the last 20 years when they go without their quarterback that they can adjust to the next guy's strengths. The New England Patriots do that very well, and right now they're on the next guy. And this team right here, this Bill Belichick coach team, and the offensive coordinator and everything that they've got going there, a good quarterbacks coach, they're going to be able to get Mac Jones and put him in the right situations to succeed. I'm putting everything that I know into Bill Belichick, and they might even be a wild card team. I could have been completely wrong about this team from the beginning.
Are you saying in Bill you trust?
In Bill, I trust. I've always trusted in Bill Belichick. I mean, geez, like I said for years, it's not fair. They've got God on the sidelines, and Jesus Christ was their quarterback. It was not fair.
All right, guys. So we are up against our first break here on the Man Hour. Coming up on the Man Hour, we are going to talk about Mr. Brandon BC Combs, Chicago Bears and the LA Rams last night. We are going to talk about how great Andy Dalton was in that game moving forward, and I believe Combs has some stuff on his chest that he would love to get off. So we'll be talking about that and much more, guys, here on the Man Hour. We'll be right back after this quick.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhouse along with Brandon BC Combs, and of course Tori Anderson tonight as well. You can find us all on the old Twitter machine at manhour_Buck, manhour_Tori, and of course manhour_Combs. Tonight we are powered by Belly Up Sports. Head over to bellyupsports.com. Check out their blog section. Of course, check out the hundreds of different podcasts over there on bellyupsports.com. We are also brought to you by 313 The Flash as well. Head over to 313theflash.com and check us out on the Facebook page every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. East Coast time. So let's go ahead and bring the boys back onto the screen here. Combs, Sunday night has come and passed you. And after that first drive of the Bears game, I was thinking, man, the Bears are going to roll tonight. They're going to do good things. And then Justin Fields comes in and throws an interception.
Wrong quarterback threw the interception there. It wasn't Justin Fields.
It should have been Justin Fields.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
What are your thoughts on last night's game?
I have a lot of thoughts on last night's game. I have a hard time understanding why Matt Nagy continues to call the plays in Chicago. I really do. You've got a team in the LA Rams who had every receiver on their team had a catch of over 15 yards. You attempted 2 such passes. 2 in the entire game. One of them was an interception, and the other one was on a 4th and 15 when you should have just taken the points and kicked the field goal to bring it within 10 with 10 minutes to go. Now, granted, I don't think you're coming back at that point, but you got to make it look like you're trying. You've got to make, like, I don't understand. This is what gets me the most, is that you say Justin Fields isn't ready. You say he's not ready. Oh, we don't want to get our guy killed in the first game. You're going up against the Rams defense. First of all, he comes in. He's the only 2 passes you let him throw. He completes both of them. He scores a touchdown on a run. But you're just going to bring him in for one play, a guy who's not ready, but you're going to bring him in when everybody knows it's going to be a gimmick play. When a defense knows what play is coming, it's easier for him to defend. And he was still making them miss. They had a guy come off of the right side that came through untouched. Justin Fields changed his arm angle and completed the pass 8 yards down the field. And if the guy, if he wasn't falling, he would have scored a touchdown on that play. Like, I don't understand for what reason we've got Andy Dalton as the quarterback. I just don't. I don't get it. And then the play calling is just absolutely atrocious. How do you not attempt any throws past 10 yards? Not one completion of Andy Dalton's was further downfield than 10 yards. Not one.
Okay.
And the 2 that he attempted, one was an interception and one was a 4th and 15 that he threw on a route that was only run for 13 freaking yards.
Well, here's the reason why you have Andy Dalton in there, Combs. It's because he went for 27 for 38 for 206 yards with the 1 interception, yes. But that was just a bad play call in the red zone when they should have just kept running the ball.
How many touchdowns did he throw?
0. But how many?
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
how many touchdowns did did Justin Fields account for in his 3 plays?
Okay, 1. Okay,
okay.
Cool.
That's more than Andy Dalton did in his entire freaking game, and he threw for less interceptions than Andy Dalton did. Stop
okay,
it.
okay.
Stop trying to defend Andy Dalton.
I'm-
Just because he's a ginger doesn't mean he's your brother.
Okay, so
Oh my God.
with that being said, you said that. Are you saying if Justin Fields would have played 9 plays in there, he would have scored 2 more times, and it would have been
I'm telling you,
28
I'm not-
to 34
No.
score?
But what I'm telling you is that Justin Fields gives you a better chance to score.
How?
Justin
Well,
Fields
how?
gives you a better chance to break a busted play on the offensive line.
Okay, I
a
get that.
busted block. He gives you a better chance to continue the drive. He has better quarterback vision. He's got better mobility. He's got better everything than Andy Dalton has ever displayed in his entire freaking career.
Okay.
And we're going to run Andy Dalton out there and say, hey, Justin, why don't you learn from him for 3
BC,
games while he
BC,
loses before we
you're
decide
sa-
to throw you in?
You sound like Buck, but
Because you guys are pissing me off now.
Okay, so here's the real thing. You keep saying that Justin Fields accounted for 1 score and 3 plays, yada yada yada. How did they get in scoring position? Andy Dalton led him down to scoring position, right?
No, absolutely
Who
not.
did?
The running game led them into scoring position.
Who was the
David
quarterback?
Montgomery led them into position.
Do you know why that rushing game was so powerful last night when they did get the ball off? It's because Andy Dalton's ability to pass the ball. They
Are you
have
out
to
of your
respect.
freaking mind
They
right now?
have to respect the
They have to
passing game.
respect what? The 8-yard freaking out routes that he was trying to run? His 2.1 second release time?
That was not
freaking
his
Chris
fault. That
Collinsworth
was not his
kept
fault.
talking
That
about?
was Matt Nagy's fault. Was it not? Tori, you are shaking your head in disagreement. Like, who are you agreeing with?
I'm agreeing with you.
Okay. Why?
You are out of your mind too. Yes, let's ask the Packers fan what he thinks about the Bears and what they should do. Yeah, because he's gonna tell you what they should do to win.
Unlike you, I can remain impartial. Like, did you see me get rattled about my team getting waxed?
Yeah, you were
yesterday?
all
No.
rattled last night. What are you talking
No,
about?
I
was
wasn't. Like it happens. Your team's gonna get throttled.
Yeah, but
Nobody's
the problem
perfect.
is this happens to the Bears often. Why do you trade up? Why do you trade up to go and get Justin Fields?
It's called
because you've
building. Trust the system. Trust the process, as the 76ers say.
You can't trust the process when Matt Nagy is your coach.
How can you, not trust the
can't.
process? If you would have
What do you
trusted the
mean?
process,
Have you not seen
would
the
have at
process
least
for the
been
last
28
4 years?
They didn't trust the process. They let Mitchell Trubisky go. If they would have kept Mitchell Trubisky, they would have probably drafted another receiver to give you guys some more dynamic plays on the outside.
Taking that Lions approach.
Yeah.
So how many yards did Justin Fields average on his 2 completions? 5 yards.
Yeah.
5 yards. What did Andy Dalton have on his completions?
5.4.
So you're going to take an average of 2 versus an average of what? 26
Hey,
attempts.
numbers
Okay,
don't lie,
so-
Holmes, right? No, numbers don't lie.
No, numbers absolutely do lie. It's
No,
the eye
they
test that
only
doesn't freaking
lie
lie.
when
and if
they
you guys
don't
aren't
help
doing
your-
this, Buck, you need to be fired as a coach in football because you obviously don't know football.
I do know football
If you
inside and
can't
out. And
sit
Andy
there
Dalton's
and
better than
tell
Justin
me
Fields.
that Andy Dalton is a better option right now than Justin Fields, then you don't know football and you're not watching. You're just taking this take to try to piss me off. Instead
No.
of doing that, why don't you be realistic and talk football? Because I know you're smarter than this. You are better
Realistically,
than this.
okay, realistically, who has better arm talent? Like, just as far as pure throwing the ball down the field, Justin Fields or
Justin
Andy Dalton?
Fields.
Exactly. Okay, so who is more accurate, though, Andy Dalton or Justin Fields?
Justin Fields.
Okay, so we saw Justin Fields throw 2 5-yard out routes. We at
No,
least saw
he
Andy
threw
Dalton throw a
one- he
19-yard
threw
pass
one
on a
ball
dime.
downfield in the red zone. He threw one ball downfield in the red zone, and the receiver slipped and got tackled. Otherwise, he would have scored a touchdown. And the other one they brought him in for was a freaking shovel pass.
Okay, so
Stop trying the shovel
He-
pass. It doesn't work in college. It's not going to work in the freaking NFL. He's been doing this for 4 freaking years.
So Justin
Matt
Fields'
Nagy, the
longest
shovel
pass
pass
was
doesn't
9
work,
yards.
stupid.
Andy Dalton was 19. I'm just saying. Who has better arm talent per the stats? Andy Dalton does, right?
Justin Fields.
Because he threw a 9-yard out route. Congratulations.
No, Justin Fields is better talent because I know football. I watch the game, and I'm not just trying to make some freaking stupid take to piss somebody off like you are right now.
I'm not trying to
It's-
piss anybody off.
There is no sane person on earth. Even Rex Ryan, who's probably the most insane person I've ever listened to ever, says the same damn thing. It makes no sense. Anybody you listen to, anybody says the same damn thing except for Buck and Tori.
Hey, Combs, true or false? Is Rex Ryan a head coach anymore?
That's first of all, that's not a true or false question. Second,
Yes
you
or no,
can't say
Rex
true or
Ryan got
false
fired.
And then start the question with is. It doesn't work that way.
Is Rex
Look
Ryan a
look at the
NFL head
grammar
coach?
police coming out.
Is Rex Ryan an NFL head coach?
No, he is not.
Why? Because he got fired because he doesn't know football. He doesn't know quarterback. So how is he going to pass judgment on Justin Fields?
Rex
Butt
Ryan doesn't know
fumble.
football. Rex Ryan doesn't know football. Okay, now I've heard it all.
He
From
knows
the
defense. He
coordinator
doesn't know.
from Indiana State High School of the Blind.
We are school of the deaf. We're not blind. We're school of the deaf. But just saying, like, Tori, talk some sense.
No
into
wonder
this guy.
they're good. They don't have to listen to you.
Exactly. Well, they can't. Tori, talk some sense to him about Justin Fields.
He's trash. I'm just kidding. I really like Justin Fields. I think, like I said, Justin Fields is the future of the Chicago Bears. It is not going to be this year as much as you want it to be. It is not going to be this year.
Yes, it is.
You aren't going to the playoffs this year. You don't have a prayer at the playoffs. Why? Let him sit and learn. Let him.
What is he going to learn from Andy Dalton? Stop.
How to be a professional.
Exactly
No,
what we just talked
stop
about.
it. A
Tua
professional
and Mac
loser.
Jones.
Okay,
loser.
no, time out. So what about Dwayne Haskins? What was the big knock on Dwayne Haskins coming out of Ohio State to Washington? Immaturity.
That's not a knock
What do
on
you
Justin Fields at all. It's actually the exact opposite about Justin Fields with everybody that you talk to about Justin Fields. Is that
Because
he is very mature for
right,
for
and
being
he's got a
rookie
good
out of the-
support system. He's got a good support system around him. Let him sit and learn. I do not know why you were so adamant about not doing that.
Because it's not like you're sitting him behind a guy like an Alex Smith. It's not like you're sitting him behind a guy who's going to lead you to the playoffs. You're sitting him behind a guy on a team that is going nowhere. It makes zero sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. What is he going to learn from Andy Dalton? Chris Collinsworth, I wanted to throw my freaking fist through the TV last night if he talked one more time about the 2.1 second release of freaking Andy Dalton. Who cares about the 2.1 second release? You know what I care about? Moving the ball downfield, sustaining drives, and being able to do things that put your team in a position to win.
Hey.
Whether or not you win the game is different, but put yourself in a position to win the game.
Hey, Combs, how do you put yourself in position to win those games? Getting the balls out of your hands in less than 2.1 seconds, right?
You guys are pointless. It's like it's unbelievable. Like,
Drew-
did you guys actually watch the game, or did you just wake up and decide to take a look at the numbers? Because that's what I think happened here.
Yeah, I just looked at the
You,
numbers. I
if
didn't
you
watch the
watched
game.
Andy
Screw the
Dalton
Bears.
when he, or if you watched Justin Fields when he was in the game and watched Andy Dalton when he was in the game, you saw two different quarterbacks. You saw two different. You could just see the intensity in the team when Justin Fields came into the game. Not only that, but Buck, you're a football guy. What do they talk to you about what do you talk to your running backs about? What do you talk to them about? What do you teach them when what is the number one thing that they look for in scouts and everything with running the ball?
Well, I'm on the defensive side,
They
but
talk about your pad angle, right?
yeah,
You
yeah,
want to have angle to your pad. Justin Fields last night, he had perfect pad angle. Running it when he ran that football, he was at like a 45-degree angle. The guy has all the intangibles. He does everything right, and you want him to sit behind Andy Dalton because you're not going to win, and you might hurt his feelings, and you could break his confidence. Shut up! Stop! He's got to learn how to lose in the league as well.
he did last
Put the
night.
kid in, let
He
him
did.
play, let him play. Let him be the starting quarterback because he's not going to learn anything by sitting underneath Andy Dalton.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. Let's say Justin Fields started all game last night. Would they have scored more than 14 points?
Yes.
No. Get out of here with
Yes.
that. How?
100%. For one, he wouldn't have thrown the interception into the end zone.
Yes,
because
he would. He would have thrown. He would have
No,
thrown three.
No,
The
he
Rams
wouldn't have,
defense
because
would have feasted on
Stop
him.
it.
Feasted.
Stop it. There is.
They're one of the best defenses in the league.
We saw it with Zach with the Jets. I mean, just the NFL regular season is a different speed than preseason. Hell, we saw Justin Fields get killed by who was that guy that knocked his helmet off? Was that the Pittsburgh Steelers defense when he said the game was slow, and the next game he threw for 2 interceptions and got murdered in the backfield?
First of all, he didn't throw for 1 interception all preseason, so nice try. You got to throw out real stats, not fake ones.
Either way, he got killed in that second game that he played.
He got hit. He got hit once on the blind side when he didn't see a guy coming. Yes,
he was looking right at him. That's why his helmet came off.
He was not. His helmet came off because he hit him from the side. He was looking to the left side of the field, and the rusher came from the right side of the field and hit him helmet to helmet.
Okay,
and took the damn helmet off.
So you are proving my point perfectly. So he doesn't have pocket presence, then, right?
Dude, I don't even know what to say to you. I really don't. Like, it's if you don't watch the game and you don't see the same things that everybody else in the world sees except for Michael Buckheister, I don't know what to tell you.
I see that Andy Dalton's a top 15 quarterback, and you not need to take him out.
Yeah.
The Bears would have been up 7-0 if Andy Dalton would have stayed in the game very first drive.
So you better get your Narcan ready because you're about to overdose with all the drugs you're doing on that take.
You got 911 on like candy because I can see your face getting all red. Michelle, hit that
I will
speed
turn
dial.
this car around and take you both home.
So with that being said, guys, let's look on the flip side of the coin. We saw the Rams whoop up on the Chicago Bears. So Tori, are we ready to king the Rams out west? Are they going to the Super Bowl?
No, it's week 1, Buck. Week 1.
Overreaction Monday.
Right? Complete overreaction Monday. So the thing is that whole division, literally, you could tell me anybody in that division is going to win that division. I'd be like, okay, I believe that because that division is that good. They're not going to have a team under 500 in that division. Like me and Brandon were talking last night. The worst record I had in that division was 12-5. The worst one Brandon has is 11-6.
Yep.
They could literally take division champion, all the wild cards, 100%.
Fun fact, if the Raiders somehow pull one off against the Ravens tonight on Monday Night Football, every team in both West divisions will be 1-0.
Which me and Tori both had West divisions at the best divisions in football. So Combs,
I did too.
Are the Rams that good or the Bears that bad?
Both. The Rams are a very good team. And with Matt Stafford, I mean, they improved at the one position they needed to improve at in the offseason, and that was quarterback. And that was clear and obvious yesterday. And the Rams are that good, and the Bears are that bad. They are. I quoted them last night. I'm gonna quote them again. Denny Green, God rest his soul.
They are who we thought they are.
Who we thought they were. The Bears are just not that good. They're maybe a 7-win team. Maybe a 7-win team. Even with Justin Fields in there, I would give them, if Justin Fields in there, they're an 8-9 team. But you've got to make the right play, and you got to stop letting freaking Matt Nagy call plays. You just do. It's horrendous. It's absolutely not one real attempt downfield. Not one. The only one that you tried, other than the 11-yard pass into the end zone that got picked off, was a 4th and 15, and the only reason why you tried that was because it had to go 15, and you only tried it. You only ran a 13-yard route.
True.
It's so bad, and I don't understand why after 4 years he doesn't understand that he's that bad. Like, it's not cute to try all the stupid shit that you think's going to work, and it's not going to work.
Well,
like you're trying to outsmart yourself. You're the exact reason why Pete Carroll hasn't won more Super Bowls with the Seattle Seahawks, because you think you're the smartest guy in the room as soon as you walk into the room, and that's what you try to be on the football field, and that does not work in the NFL.
So here's one thing that I want to ask you about. Like, didn't Matt Nagy give the play calling to somebody else week 3 or week 4 last year, and they lost 3 or 4 games in a row? So what do you think would be any different?
No, he didn't give up
year?
the play calling until I think it was week 7.
Okay.
And then in week 7, once he gave it up, they won that game. Then they lost week 8 and they lost week 9.
So they're below 500 with somebody else calling the plays, but at least when Matt
They're
Nagy calls
below
the plays,
500 because they had Nick Foles and freaking the worst 2 quarterbacks in the world were on the Bears last year. and that's why they were losing games. Matt
So they're
Nagy's
gonna
play calling is
they're gonna tank
consistently
this year,
atrocious.
get another top 10 pick, fire
They're
Nagy,
not
hire
tanking this
hire
year.
Eric sleeping with Bieniemy, and then be a top 10
You know why they're not
offense in
tanking
2
this
years.
year? Because Ryan Pace isn't going to let them tank this year, and neither is Matt Nagy, because both of their jobs are on the line. They can't tank this year. What they need to have happen is they need for Justin Fields to get on the field eventually, which is probably going to be week 4, like we talked about, and then they need him. Oh, either that, or they just need Andy Dalton to take this revenge game here and just go off, and then win 3 straight games, beat Cleveland, then beat Detroit, and just be world beaters, and then they're going to buy themselves another season. Or
And
they need
now
Justin
I'm going to
Fields
tell you
come
why
in
you're
and
wrong.
be an 8-win team and save their job. That's the only way it's going to
Because
happen.
I will tell you right now, Ryan Pace bought himself one more year
No, he
after
did
the
not.
draft.
No
he
way.
bought himself 1 year
I'm-
after the draft.
Matt
with
Nagy,
the draft he had, did they not have one of the best drafts
they have these
out of
two
any
guys.
NFL team?
Yes,
Did they
and
not?
I'm still convinced that he paid somebody else in the league to draft for him, because there's no way he made these picks.
I will tell you right now, he bought himself another year based off that
There's
draft,
no
saying
way.
this is
They've
what
got
we
these
did.
two-
If they want to get rid of Nagy, they will get rid of Nagy and bring in a more dominant
they're
more
not-
dominant head
look,
coach.
Stop. Think about this realistically now. An organization is not going to give. First of all, they've got these two intertwined for some reason. If Pace gets another year, Nagy's getting another year. They've got them intertwined. So that's first thing. The second thing is a team is not going to let a GM that is on the hot seat bring in a brand new head coach and then have to possibly let another GM come in and maybe pick another head coach after you just drafted a franchise quarterback. That's not going to happen. So this is either Ryan Pace's last year, or he's going to
Houston
get
did
a
it.
3 to 4 year extension. Well, Houston's horrendous. Look, as much as I don't like the McCaskies, and as much as I think that they're a horrible ownership, they'll make the right decision. And they'll either, I'm telling you right now, Pace is either gone, or Pace and Nagy are going to get extensions for at least 2 to 3 years after this. Those are the only two options.
Tori, any thoughts on that?
I don't agree. I think that Ryan Pace had a really good draft. I think he bought himself another year. I think Nagy's the sacrificial lamb. He will throw Nagy to the wolves and let him die.
But Nagy
after
is
the
Pace's
season.
guy. Nagy is the guy that Pace brought in because he was a believer in Pace. Why are you going to give that GM another chance to pick another coach if you're not going to bring that, if you might not bring that GM back? If this next coach fails too, now all of a sudden you're changing GMs, you're changing a coach, and you've got a rookie quarterback in his 3rd year on his 3rd coach. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Trust the process.
I do agree with that. But yeah, trust the process, and Justin Fields will sit for the rest of the year. But guys, we are up against our next break here. On the other side of the break, we got Shop Talk coming up. You guys got any questions for the guys? Let us know here in the chat at youtube.com/manhour, and we'll be glad to be able to discuss it moving forward. Shop Talk is brought to you by Thrive Fantasy Night. Head over to thrivefantasy.com and use promo code MANHOUR, and they'll match up to $50 on your first deposit. That is promo code MANHOUR. You can also download that on Android and iOS devices. Guys, we'll be right back here on the Man Hour. man. Welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckheist along with Brandon Combs and Tori Anderson tonight. You can find us all on Twitter at manhour_Buck, manhour_Combs, and of course, manhour_Tori. You can also find the Man Hour on Twitter, man_hour_radio on the old Twitter machine. That's a mouthful. We need to change that handle, Combs. Like, that is just ridiculous. But, guys, who was that? Raise your hand, please. Guy right there in the middle. Yeah, blue shirt. Yeah. Anyways, guys, it is time for Shop Talk. So if you guys want to talk about anything in the chat here, go ahead and let us know. Combs, you want to scroll through the YouTube chat and see if anything is there for us to discuss and talk about. Tori, you got Facebook, and then we'll just we'll go right down the line, boys. Yeah, he has. Oh. Uh-oh. Get over there now. Actually, guys, come to youtube.com/manhour. That's where the magic happens. Oh. Why do you guys always gotta dog my freaking setup? I mean, like, first of all, like it looks like you're in a closet. Now it's like, come on, give me a break, guys. I love my setup. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screens around me. I mean, I'm like, I got Monday Night Countdown there. I got a soccer game on that TV for some reason, and the other TV, I don't know whatever that is. Oh, it looks like Wipeout or something. Oh, shout out to Dawn. Hey, Tori, Dawn is your friend, right? You guys are acquaintances from high school or whatever. Dawn, I am glad you're over on YouTube, because she was over on Facebook for the longest time. She's finally over here on the on the YouTube page, and big shout out to her. I know, right? Speaking of trip to Vegas, guys, Drew become a member here, so big shout out to Drew for becoming a member here on Man Hour Nation. Big shout out to Drew. Thank you for becoming a member.
Absolutely, thank you, Drew. And then we had let's see what else we got. We got Drew, who said Saints made the Packers their biatch. I agree with that as well.
So let me ask you guys.
Can't say biatch on the air.
Let me ask you this question real quick. If the Packers and Saints were to play 2 more times, would the Saints win the series out of best 2 out of 3, or would the Packers come back and win 2 out of 3?
That's a great question. Thanks for asking, Buck.
Saints win.
Saints win?
Yeah.
I just feel like the Saints overpowered the Packers in all aspects of the game.
The Saints have the perfect, I guess, chemical of weapons to beat the Green Bay Packers, which is Alvin Kamara.
Right.
And then they've got
a mobile quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's literally all you need to beat the Packers ever is a mobile quarterback.
I didn't watch the Saints game closely because the Chiefs game was on, but did Michael Thomas even play that game? I don't think he played, right?
No, he's on IR.
No. Yeah, so
yeah.
Or he's on the PUP list.
I think
it's
on
IR.
Yeah.
He's IR.
No, he's PUP. He's PUP.
Yeah,
he's out
PUP
for
list.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
Drew also said, as Rex said this morning on Get Up regarding Justin Fields, if he's not ready, shame on you. I agree. If he's not ready to play in the NFL right now, that's a problem with the Bears coaching staff more than it is a problem with Justin Fields.
Whoa. I mean, if a quarterback is just mentally not ready to play in the NFL, how's that on the coaching staff?
What he was saying is, if you listen to the whole thing, which I sent you the video earlier, but you probably didn't watch it because
I didn't watch it.
You're like computer illiterate for an IT guy. It's ridiculous.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it's dumb. But anyway, so what Rex Ryan was saying was you've got to put Justin Fields in. There's no excuses anymore as to why Justin Fields doesn't play. He's a more dynamic quarterback. He's a better starting quarterback. You're not going to sit him behind Andy Dalton, the guy who's never even won a playoff game, to learn anything, because he's not going to learn anything. And if he's not ready to play in the NFL, then shame on you. But he's definitely ready to play in the NFL. Justin Fields could be their starting quarterback, and they're a better team if he's the starting quarterback.
Strange question here, but has Justin Fields won a playoff game?
Yeah, a couple of them in college football.
But I'm talking about NFL. He's won an NFL playoff game, or
no. Dalton never won a college football playoff game either.
Okay, yeah, but this is
that's because the college football playoff did not exist when he was in college.
Because he's 110 years old.
He's only 37.
But we want a mobile quarterback to learn from freaking Andy Dalton, who's about as mobile as a freaking as I don't even know what.
Tori, anything happen over there on Facebook page?
No, just literally me.
All right.
I was all by myself. No one was lucky.
That's not what you said on the break. I told you
Yeah.
that's not where he was talking to her.
He was definitely fishing for information.
I'm
Nope.
telling you.
Nope.
There's no way, because he just threw himself under the bus.
Yeah.
He just threw himself under the bus.
Nobody's here, but
Just
No.
saying.
So
Just saying,
the
we'll
last
talk
one-
about it again on the
I-
break. We'll talk about it again at break.
I
We can.
agree.
So let me ask you guys
concur.
this. I got a question. So me as a Kansas City Chiefs fan last night, Sunday was the first time in a long time that I felt like uneasy about a game. Do you guys think that Baker Mayfield lost that game or the Kansas City Chiefs just finally showed up?
I think a little bit of both. I think at the end of the
hang
game
on,
there-
Waffle. Give me a direct answer. Not a little bit of both. Yes or no?
Well, I think that the Chiefs just showed up finally. I'll say that more than the Browns lost it, because look, I said it last night. You can't feel safe with any type of lead against the Chiefs. They've shown time and time again that they have the ability to come back from. It doesn't matter how many they're down, and I think that Baker Mayfield. A lot of people are talking about that last pass, and I watched it again. I didn't think so last night, but I watched it again. He was definitely trying to throw the ball away, and he got hit in the leg, and the ball just sailed on him and ended up in the defender's hands. I think that he was trying to do the right thing there, and it just looked bad. I think the Cleveland Browns showed that they're for real. They almost pulled off the upset. You're not supposed to win that game in Kansas City. That's a tough place to win.
Right.
And you almost pulled it off, and you didn't. But you know what? You played with the best team in the AFC over the last 2 years, and you showed that you belong in the talks of one of the best teams in the AFC.
So one thing I heard was like the Bears haven't won an opening game in like 17 years. And they basically said that the Kansas City Chiefs know how to win and the Cleveland Browns don't know how to win. Tori, do you agree with that at all?
I don't, because they took their step forward last year. Like, Browns teams in the years past, absolutely, I would agree with that. Not after last year. They took a step forward last year. This is a Brown team that stood in and went toe-to-toe with the AFC champs.
Yeah.
You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. So the thing is, they stood in, they went toe-to-toe. Did they blow it? Yeah, they were up 22-10.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, I feel like it was like Chiefs went into halftime down, and they're like, I guess we'll come out and play the second half and show them we're still the boss. That's what it felt like.
Just to get on your point there, it wasn't the Chiefs that have won 17 straight opening days. It's Andy Reid that has won 17 straight.
No. The Browns have lost
games.
17 opening game. Like opening
I know
games.
Andy Reid is he's unbeatable on opening day, and he's unbeatable after. He's like Bill Belichick after a freaking bye week. He if you give him time to prepare, he's pretty good. He's got a pretty good record.
Yeah, I believe he only has one loss ever, and that was actually to the Broncos, if I'm not mistaken, a couple years ago. But
so he's got a really good record on opening day.
So Drew comes in and says the Jets and Falcons don't know how to win. Do you guys think that is just a culture thing, or are they just in like a transition? Because obviously the Falcons were just in a Super Bowl three or four years ago, and then the Jets they went to 3 or 4 straight AFC Championship games or won the division or something like that with butt fumble
with Mark Sanchez with Mark Sanchez and Rex Ryan as the head coach, but they could never get over that hump. So I think it's more that for the Falcons, I think it's more of a confidence issue. Like, they just assume that no lead is safe and they're going to screw it up at this point, because they are literally inventing ways. Like,
they're just not good.
Well, 3 years ago, we were talking about the Chargers being that way, like inventing ways to lose. Except the Falcons have, since they lost that Super Bowl, literally every week invented ways to lose. Like, they lost to a Philadelphia squad who I had picked to go 0-17 this year because they were just not that good. And that's why we talked about last night about, are we sleeping a little bit on Philadelphia? Maybe because Jalen Hurts against Atlanta looked like a semi-decent NFL quarterback.
I believe he was top 3 or top 4 in fantasy points too, as a quarterback, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so the one thing for the Falcons, I think, is just like it's definitely a confidence thing, but it is like once you lose that fourth quarter game, it is like the old movie, The Replacements, right? When Shane Falco says, "It's like quicksand. The more you fight it, the more you fail." And that's kind of seems like what the Falcons do. It's like when they get into the fourth quarter, they are expecting it, so they're trying to fight it. They're trying to prevent it, and it just makes it horrible to watch. So, I kind of feel bad for Falcons fans, honestly.
The Falcons they're just not that good. They're just not. I mean, they've lost a lot of talent on that team. Matty Ice is, he's Matty Melted Ice by now. He's like 110 years old. The guy is not a starting quarterback in this league anymore. He's just not. But the Falcons continue to stick with him. They've failed to draft a quarterback over the last, I don't know
Josh
how many
Rosen,
years.
baby.
I think Josh Rosen is the future there.
So like Brandon fought me on that last night. I said they need to give Josh Rosen's in the perfect situation to become the NFL quarterback that we all thought he would kind of be.
On another bad team.
The Falcons have talent, like they have Pitts.
Yeah, right.
It's not like Calvin Ridley.
They're not
Pitts
not void of talent.
Yeah.
No, they've got Ridley and Pitts. They've got no
and
talent.
They signed Mike Davis.
Their defense is
solid.
Davis.
Their offensive line is horrible. Their defense is not solid. Don't ever talk about the Falcons' defense is
their
solid.
defense is not good.
They could have a 79-point lead and lose. They're not a good defense.
I would say their offensive line is more solid than their defense is.
No, their offensive line is not good. Matty, watch. Did you watch that game against Carolina? Or not against Carolina, against
Eagles.
Philadelphia?
Philly, yes. Did you see how much pressure Philly was getting on him?
Philadelphia.
Yeah, go ahead.
Philadelphia actually has one of the best front fours in all of football. Fletcher Cox is legit. Fletcher Cox is a leader of that defense.
I don't disagree with you there, but you still every damn down, every time he was snapping the ball, he was on the run. He was on the move. They have no offensive line there. They've got two wide receivers that are easy to cover because you have no run game.
I think Cordell Patterson is pretty good.
Cordell Patterson's not a running back though.
Yeah,
Mike Davis, they signed Mike Davis in the offseason. I think once you get Mike Davis fully integrated into that offense, Mike Davis will be he'll be a Michael Turner type back.
But if you've got no offensive line, how is the running back going to help your passing game? Because receivers at that point,
he can catch the ball out of the backfield. That's
your receivers only have 2.5 seconds to get open.
That's all you need. They run a 4-4. 5-yard outs,
but
right?
Matty Ice can't throw it 40 yards down the field.
You're right, because they're running 5-yard outs.
Yeah. They're just not a good team. That's why they're going 0-17.
Let me ask you this. Would you rather have Matt Ryan or Andy Dalton on your team as a starter?
I'd rather hit my shin on my bed frame every night before I go to bed.
# waffle. Tori.
Give me Matty Ice all day long, proving
Matty
they can
Ice.
get to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that is going to be it for Shop Talk tonight. It's brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. Head over to thrivefantasy.com. Use promo code MANHOUR. They'll match up to $50 on your first deposit. You can also download that on iOS and Android devices. Coming up here on the Man Hour is the infamous game of Guess Who. So we have 3 players that the boys are trying to guess. It's a yes or no question.
Undefeated.
Yeah, Brandon Combs is undefeated. So, Tori, are you ready to break that undefeated mark tonight?
I mean, technically he has a defeat. He just doesn't want to admit it.
Undefeated.
All right, guys. We'll be right back here on the Man Hour. Stay tuned. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes on with Tori Anderson and Beastie Combs tonight. If you guys would be most inclined, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button if you're watching us on youtube.com/Man Hour. If you have missed any part of the show whatsoever, you can find us on podcast forum on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and of course, Amazon Music. Or you can simply head over to YouTube as we upload clips each and every day at 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. East Coast time, Sunday through Thursday, and Fridays and Fridays and Saturdays, they give you guys a little something special at the 8 o'clock hour. Also, every Wednesday moving forward here, Tori Anderson will be giving you guys a fantasy show here. So, Tori, go ahead and give the people a little bit of what the fantasy show is all about.
Had a little bit of a break. It'll be up on Wednesday this week. I'm going to give you your week 2 stardom, situm, and sleepers, and your cuts. Who you should be taking stock in, who you should be dumping already. Everything you need to know to win your fantasy league this year.
And guys, if you guys got any fantasy questions whatsoever, you can hit Tori up on the old Twitter machine at manhour_Tori. Slide into his DMs there, and he will answer those questions over at youtube.com/manhour. To get that fantasy show, you have to become a member of $2.99 or higher, and you get access to that every Wednesday. So, guys, with all that being said, Combs is smiling ear to ear. The Bears must have just benched Andy Dalton or something.
No, I saw Drew's comment. Drew says the Packers have more holes than a slice of Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
And they gained a few more holes after that reaming last night.
Yeah. So, sorry, Tori. Do the Packers play one of Drew's 7 teams that he likes this year?
Chances are yes.
Wouldn't you take a few teams away from him?
What, he has like the Cardinals, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens.
I think if anything, he likes like 7 different divisions, not teams.
7 of the he's like, except for the AFC South. Screw those guys.
Screw
We're
those guys.
kidding, Drew. We love you, Drew.
All right, guys. So it is time for the game of Guess Who. So let's take it back to 5th grade here, and you basically kind of guess who I am thinking of. You answer yes or no questions, and then we will banter it back and forth after you guys guess who the player is. So, Mr. Tori Anderson, since you are the reigning loser, would you like to go first or second tonight?
Second.
All right. Combsy.
Is it an athlete?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yes.
Is it River Buckheister?
Yes, it is. With that being said, over under River has his pants off right now. No,
I'm taking the over.
Yeah, no, it is not Man Buck.
All right. Is it a baseball player?
No,
Is it a NFC South football player?
no,
Do they play in the NFC?
no,
Is it a basketball player?
no,
Do they play in the AFC?
yes,
You just asked if they play in the. Do they play in the
defense, baby?
Do they play in the Atlantic Division in the NBA?
no.
Oh God. Is it? God. Is it Tyrod Taylor?
Yes, it is Tyrod Taylor.
Nice.
Tyrod Taylor went 21 for 33 Sunday with 291 yards and 2 touchdowns, rating of 112.1, while Deshaun Watson was inactive. So, Combs, let me ask you this. Right now, Deshaun Watson is inactive on the Houston Texans roster. The Texans thumped the Jaguars on Sunday. Do the Texans really need Watson moving forward?
Yes. I mean, let's calm down a little bit. First of all, it was the New York Jets. Second of all,
Jacksonville Jaguars.
or Jacksonville Jaguars, same difference. Jacksonville Jaguars, New York Jets, same difference. And second of all, it just, there was no, like, it's just, I mean, it's there's nothing to it. Wait till they play a team that's not the Jacksonville Jaguars. It'll be a different story. Yes, they need Deshaun Watson.
Tori.
Simple answer.
Your team is instantly better. I don't care what team you're on, is instantly better with Deshaun Jackson, Deshaun Watson
The Green Bay Packers.
on your team. The way Aaron played yesterday, yes. I mean, like we made reference to the replacements, and I get the why don't you try running around?
So
Move
you're saying
around.
so you're saying that the Houston Texans by sitting Watson is not beneficial to their team right now. So why do it? Why lower Deshaun Watson's trade value?
Long term, it is beneficial. Short
How?
term, not so beneficial because they're gonna trade him. Why would you put somebody on the field and risk him getting hurt? They are going to trade him. I said within the next 2 weeks he will get traded. He will get traded. I actually picked him up in fantasy with anticipation of him getting traded.
Combs, do you think by Watson not being active and not showing that maybe he still has it or don't have it is hurting his trade value?
No. I think Deshaun Watson's trade value is going to be the same because everybody knows what type of football player he is.
He was.
Is Jinx.
So Combs, let me ask you this question: how did you guess Tyrod Taylor?
I tried thinking like Buck.
That's all you got to do in this game.
Who would
No.
Buck want to talk about out of all these players we've got and all these great people? Who would he want? Tyrod Taylor. That's
Okay.
easy.
All right, so you go first.
I go first. All right.
No. Tori goes first this time. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Do they play Major League Soccer?
No.
do they play golf?
No.
Do they play cricket?
Yes.
All right. Is it the dog that stole the ball?
Yes. How did you guess?
All right. For real now. Go ahead, Tori.
Do they play in the NBA?
No.
Is it Jerry Judy?
No.
Oh, damn.
Is it Russell the Muscle Wilson?
No.
Do they play in the NFC?
Yes.
Is it Jalen Hurts?
No.
Is it Andy Dalton?
No.
Is it Jared Goff?
No.
Is it Matt Stafford?
No.
Is it Jamal Williams?
No.
Do they play in the NFC East?
Yes.
Like you need any to even ask that question. He always goes after the NFC East.
Best division in football, Tori?
Is it Dak Prescott?
No.
Is it Taylor Heineke?
No.
That'd be like that would be like the 5th time he picked him. Is it Ryan Fitzpatrick? He likes to pick injured players.
It is Ryan Fitzpatrick. Good job, Tori. So Ryan
That was my next
Fitzpatrick
guess.
went 3 for 6 for 13 yards, and then he left the game with a hip pointer. He has since been put on IR, and Heineke is set to start for the remainder of the season. So Tori, you had the Washington football team going 13-4, obviously with Ryan Fitzpatrick at the helm. Do you still have faith in the football team going 13-4?
Gotta have faith.
I don't know why you ever had faith in
Gotta
that in the
have
first
faith.
place.
Yes, I still actually have faith in that team. You're not losing a whole lot. You're getting a quarterback that's a lot younger. And we talked about a little bit like last night is with the injury to Fitzpatrick, is this the time for Heineke to shine? It is. It's 100% this kid's time to shine and show what he's got to see if he's the future in Washington. He's got a ton of weapons. He's got Antonio Gibson. He's got Tracy McLaurin. He's got Logan Thomas. He's got what's his name? Samuel. And then they have a great defense. Curtis Samuel. That's the name I could think of. So yeah, 100%. I'm still sticking with my pick.
Let me ask you a question. This is a schedule that still has the Buffalo Bills, the New Orleans Saints, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Green Bay Packers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Seattle Seahawks, the Dallas Cowboys twice, and you only think they're losing 3 more games?
Yes.
That's 7 right there.
The Dallas Cowboys are 2 wins. They're going 6-0. They're going 6-0 in the division.
You're as bad as Buck with the Lions. You just won't
Nope.
stop until they lose their 5th game. You're gonna sit there and say, "Oh, they're 0-4, 13 straight wins coming right up. 13 straight wins."
So, Combs, are the Washington football team better with Heineke at the helm than with Fitzpatrick?
I think they're doomed either way, to be honest with you. But no, I think if you're going to
Best
take
team in the
either of
NFC
the
East.
two, I think you want Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's a guy who had the Miami Dolphins in position to be in the playoffs last year before they decided to mess around with the quarterback situation. Taylor Heineke is a guy who he came in, he had a couple of nice games. You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of a New
Caleb
England
Hen-
Patriots.
Oh,
Yeah,
Caleb Henny.
no, a New England Patriots quarterback who would come in when Tom Brady got injured and had a good game, and then all of a sudden got a contract.
Matt
He got a
Castle.
contract. Matt Castle, freaking all sorts of them. Who was the Packers backup that got a big
Matt
Uh,
Flynn.
payday? Matt Flynn.
Well, there was a bunch of them: Matt Flynn, Ty Detmer, Doug Peterson,
Yeah, like-
Aaron Brooks.
So you're looking at a guy in Taylor Heineke who's the same way. You give him maybe 2 or 3 games that he'll be pretty good, pretty decent, and then the NFL will catch up. The defenses will catch up, and he's going to be what he is.
Which is a below
Third
average
string
quarterback, or
quarterback.
average quarterback, or above average?
A third string quarterback on any other roster.
Okay, Tori, do you agree with that? Heineke was a third string quarterback on the other roster.
I mean, the Packers had third string quarterbacks back in the day that were starting out of their NFL team. So, is that really a bad thing? Is that a terrible comparison? No, Mark Brunell. Mark Brunell was our third string quarterback. We traded him to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the guy went to 3 Pro Bowls. Kurt Warner wasn't even good enough to make the Packer roster, and is a Hall of Famer. So is that really an
He was
insult?
good enough, but they had Brett Favre, and he wouldn't let him play.
And they had Brett Favre, they had Ty Detmer, they had Mark Brunell. That was that roster.
Isn't that crazy how Tori totally turned the conversation about the Redskins into the Packers? That is classic. Good job, Tori.
No,
I'm so proud of you.
no. That was me pointing out facts that a third string quarterback can
Only
turn
the
into
Packers
a Hall of
had
Fame.
good third string quarterbacks because they are the best franchise in football, and I love them.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
You finally admit it.
I
You heard
see-
it here first, folks. Brandon Combs is now a Green Bay Packer fan. He just admitted they were the
Yeah.
greatest franchise ever.
All right, so I
And
see
Tori just
Nathaniel
showed you
in the
how
chat.
stupid he is.
I see Nathaniel in the chat saying he says this is crazy. However, I think the football team will win next week. So he still has faith in his football team over there. So shout out to
Nathaniel, I'm right with you.
All right, guys. So we are tied 1-1 going into the deciding factor, game 3 here, matchup number 3. It is a NFL player, so just go ahead and cut to the chest there. Combs, you get the first question.
Do they play in the NFC?
Yes.
Do they play in the NFC South?
No.
Is it Andy
Jan-
Dalton?
No.
Chances are they probably play in the NFC East, but so is it Matthew Stafford?
It is not.
Do they play in the NFC East?
No.
Do they play for the Chicago Bears?
No.
Is it Aaron Rodgers?
No.
Oh, that would have been so good.
Is it Russell Wilson?
No.
Do they play in the NFC North?
No.
Is it Jimmy Garoppolo?
No.
Is it Devontae Adams?
No.
He just said they don't play in the NFC
I'm
North.
sorry. I said the wrong damn name. God damn
So
it.
is it DeAndre Hopkins?
No.
Damn. I said the wrong name. Is it Kyler Murray?
No.
We already named all the quarterbacks now.
Have you?
Yeah. He said Kyler. I asked Russell. I said Jimmy Garoppolo. He said I said Matthew Stafford. So we've named all the quarterbacks in that division.
Okay.
Well, the starting quarterbacks, anyways.
Whose
Is
turn?
it? It's mine.
Oh.
So they play in the NFC West. Is it James Conner?
No.
I know who it is. He threw his first touchdown yesterday. It's Trey Lance.
No.
Damn.
Whoa! That was a good guess. That was a great guess right there. As soon as you said it, I'm like, son of a.
Drew is not Fields.
Is it? Ooh. I gotta think now.
Yeah, no.
Is it Daryl Henderson?
No. He
Is
had a
it
good
Raheem
game.
Mostert?
No.
Damn, I picked an injured player.
Right?
This is a good one.
Is it Deebo Samuel?
No.
Is it Penny?
Penny who? But no.
Rashad Penny,
Oh, no.
Penny?
the one who got hurt.
Penny?
Damn.
Is it Chris Carson?
No.
Is it is it Chandler Jones?
It is Chandler Jones. Drew got it first in the
Good.
chat there, but it is Chandler Jones. Combs get the points and the victory tonight. I'm bringing up Chandler Jones because, guys, he
Undefeated.
had 5 sacks. Isaiah Simmons had 8 tackles and an interception in that game. Are you guys ready to give the Cardinals the best defense in the league, and are they Super Bowl bound? Combs.
I gave him the best defense in the league the day that they signed J.J. Watt. I do think that they are the best team in the NFC. They're definitely the best team in the NFC West. This team is so damn good. And what J.J. Watt did was make Chandler Jones better.
Yeah.
Because now you can't just focus in on Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones had an amazing game, an absolutely phenomenal game. And this was, the only thing that could have been better than Chandler Jones' game was me staying undefeated in this one.
Tori, what are your thoughts on that? Are you ready to crown the Cards?
I am not.
If you're ready to
I
crown
am-
him, then crown their ass.
I am not ready to crown them as the best defense. It's week 1. We'll see what happens. They have a great defense, but are they the best? We'll see.
Is it weird that the NFC West might have the best divisions, or the best defenses in football? Like, probably all of them are at least in the top 10.
Are they though? I don't see the Seahawks defense being the top 10 defense.
They'll be there.
They're rebuilt.
Yeah.
They're rebuilt, but they're not top 10. I don't think.
Yeah, no. You've got the Rams, you've got the Cardinals,
You got the
Don't forget
Niners.
the
the
49ers.
Those-
Niners. Yeah, the
But
Niners
those
are-
three,
are really
those
good.
three, I think, are top 10 defenses. The wild card is the Seahawks defense. I
They've
don't
got to
think
stay healthy.
Right. I don't think the Seahawks defense is top 10 defense.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah,
So
it's
we
good,
are
yeah.
we are up against our next break. On the other side of the break, it is time to panic or not panic here in the NFL. So coming up here, right, guys. Right after the break, we are going to talk Packers, panic, Baker Mayfield and the Browns, panic, and of course Buffalo Bills, panic. There's no reason to listen. I'm just kidding, guys.
Hey, Tori, real quick before we go to break, what do I have that the Packers don't have? I'm undefeated.
You're not undefeated, though.
I'm undefeated.
All right, guys, we'll be right back here. We are powered up by Belly Up Sports. Head over to bellyupsports.com. Check out their blog sections and, of course, the hundreds of other shows over there at bellyupsports.com. We'll be right back, guys, here on the Man Hour. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buck Kasher on the Brandon Combs and Tori Anderson tonight. You can find us all on the Twitter machine at manhour_Buck, manhour_Tori, and of course, manhour_Combs. You can also find us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/manhour sports talk. So let's go ahead and bring everybody back onto the screen here, guys. Guys, we've had a great hour and a half show here so far. It is time to end the last 30 minutes or so here with some panic or over panic here, because that is what we do here in the NFL season, is we make crazy assumptions after 1 week of football. So Tori, I got to kick it to you first here. The Green Bay Packers, they absolutely, let's just be honest, they got stomped on Sunday, and the last team to lose to the Saints, or the last team to get beat by the Saints 38-3 was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last season. So with that being said, Mr. Tori Anderson, are the Green Bay Packers going to the Super Bowl? Yes or no?
It's the goal every single year for that squad. I mean, even as a Packer fan.
Happen?
But the thing, how often do the Bears go to the Super Bowl? Like, I mean, you can talk smack all you want. It doesn't make it true. The thing is we're in contention at least every single year to go to the Super Bowl. And that is ultimately the goal of the squad, to go every single year. Packer fans, literally, it is Super Bowl or bust. Whereas Bears fans are like, let's just get to 500 and we'll call it good.
No, Bears fans are just like, I can't wait to watch the NFC Championship game so we can watch somebody beat Green Bay.
Except for the Bears, because the last time the Packers went to a Super Bowl, seems we beat the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, that's true.
So
our quarterback was riding a bike.
So Combs, the Packers took a thumping by the Saints. The Buccaneers took a thumping by the Saints last year. Does that mean the Packers win the Super Bowl?
If you would have asked me before yesterday's game, I would have said, yes, the Packers have a chance to win the Super Bowl, because I thought that this was going to be Aaron Rodgers, come back and just go off and just give a big middle finger to the Packers organization and walk away after winning a Super Bowl. But then I look at him and I'm like, all right, so here's a guy who's like, Aaron Rodgers is a very earthy guy, and his girlfriend that he's seeing now is a very
Fiance
type girl. Well, fiance. All of a sudden, he's dropped, I don't know how many pounds in the offseason. He's got a man bun.
He looks ridiculous.
Maybe he's about to just retire at the end of the year and go live life and save some trees and host Jeopardy. Did you watch his demeanor in the post-game press conference? If you're a Packers fan, you've got to watch that and be like, uh-oh.
The thing is, he's that way every post game. He's like that.
Yeah. Look,
like, it's laid back. It's not.
Do you not admit that this just has a different feel to it, though?
No.
The way that
they
got tore
because
up,
I watch.
When was the last time the Packers really got beat like that, though?
They got tore up last year in the regular season by the Buccaneers.
And the 49ers the year before that.
No, in the regular season.
Yeah.
Not in the title game.
The 49ers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For some reason, it has a different feel for the Packers. The way the offseason went, the way that the season has started, the way that Aaron Rodgers is carrying himself in the post-game press conference. That had nothing to do with Stephen A. Smith. I just don't think that. I think it's a different year for the Packers. And I had the Packers winning the division. I had the Packers going 12-5. I actually have the Packers in the Super Bowl. I don't know. I'm worried after what I saw in week 1. Now, week 2, they get the Detroit Lions. So now it's time to come out there. If they put up an egg against the Lions and only put up like maybe 24 points and win that game 24-21 or something against the Lions, then I'm really concerned. They need to go out and just make the Lions the Cornell of freaking Alabama's schedule and just beat them down, because that's what they should absolutely do to the Detroit Lions.
But you can't do that. You can't do that in the NFL. That's a completely different game versus college. Like, it is seen as extremely bad sportsmanship.
The Saints just did it in the NFL.
It's looked at as an extremely bad sportsmanship to run up the score. Thing is, the Saints were not intentionally running up the score. It's the defense played that.
I'm not saying run up the
score.
Like, they gave. You should beat the Lions 38-3, just like you just lost 38-3.
Well, the Niners, which has a better defense than the Packers, were up by 28 points on them and almost blew it.
Stop. We talked about that. The Niners did not almost blow it. The Niners went to sleep at halftime, played everybody. I think they brought up some of the players' kids, put them in pads, and put them out there and said, "Here, play defense for the second half." And that's what happened to the Niners. They took their foot off the pedal and allowed an NFL team to get back into the game. That's not going to happen with the Packers because they need to win big, and I think they will. I really do. I think it's the Packers need to get back on track. And that's all fine and dandy if you do go and do it against Lions, but then you need to come back out in week 3 and do it again. That's just you've got to continue that. You've got to take that and ride it. Otherwise, if they start out the season 1-2 or 1-3, they're in trouble.
All right, guys. So moving on here, Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns, they had the Kansas City Chiefs on the ropes on Sunday, but they ultimately gave the ball, or they ultimately gave the game away when Baker Mayfield threw a late game interception to basically seal the win for the Kansas City Chiefs. BC Combs, do you think it is time to panic in Cleveland? Because every time this happens to Baker, he has a bad end of the game. He struggles for the next 2 or 3 games. Should the Cleveland fans panic of like an 0-3 start to the season?
No, they should not panic. Look, you went into Kansas City, which is a notoriously tough place to play, and you had a lead, and the best team in the AFC came back and beat you. You take off your hat, you tip your cap, but you had a lead and you were playing with the best team in the league. And now you get Houston at home, and then you get the lowly Bears at home, and then you get the Vikings, who just lost in overtime in Minnesota, and then you get the Chargers. So you've got
Game was at
essentially the
Cincinnati.
next 3 games. Huh?
The game was at Cincinnati.
No, I'm saying you I said
Their
you've got
game.
Cleveland. Yeah, I'm saying you've got Cleveland gets
At
Minnesota
Minnesota
on the road
at
at Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you.
So-
It sounded like you said like that. Minnesota lost to Cincinnati at home.
No. So you get Houston at home, you get the Bears at home, and then you get Cleveland, or you get Minnesota on the road. Those should be 3 wins heading into the game against the Chargers, and then you've got the Cardinals right behind that. So theoretically, you should probably be 3-1 heading into 2 really tough weeks, and we can evaluate them at that point, because if they're not 3-1, then they might be in trouble, because after those 2 games, you could be, 2 or 3 games out of the division if Pittsburgh somehow pulls something out of their hat and continues to win like they did this weekend. So it's just one of those where you got to put your nose to it. You got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat, and they should win these next 3 games.
So, Tori, let me add a spitball here to the question here. If the Browns don't go 3-1 heading into week 5, is it time to panic?
No, because if you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers teams that were actually really good, that coming off the Super Bowl, they were notoriously slow starting teams. They were always awful the first part of the season, and the second half of the year they were always dominant, and they were right there at the end of the season. And you can have a slow start in the NFL and recover from that.
Not
versus
in this
like
division. Not in this division. Not
I
when,
see it.
Not when you've got Baltimore in there, and then when you've got Pittsburgh, who gets to go to Vegas, or gets to get Vegas at home, and then gets to have Cincinnati at home. And then they play Denver in week 5. So you can't have a slow start in this division with the Ravens and Steelers out there.
Yeah, but if you start off 2-3 versus 3-2, that's 1 game. You can recover from that.
Yeah, but that's banking on the other teams having a struggling start, and you've got the Ravens, who don't have a very tough schedule. They do have Kansas City. Then after Kansas City, they get Detroit and Denver. They're not going to be 3-1. Or I'm sorry, 3-2. They're going to be 4-1.
And if they are, great. But if they're not, it's not the end of the world. That's what I'm saying. The only thing that matters is at the end of the year, are you in the dance? That is literally the only thing that matters. Because if you're in the dance, then you can do damage.
This is a really strong AFC, though. We've talked about it before.
I agree. I'm not going to
get off to a slow start. I mean, I'm just saying, if you get off to a slow start in this AFC, especially in this division, but in this AFC, it's going to be tough to climb up the ladder over those teams.
But they're one of the teams that can do it. They really are.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying
They
it's a tougher
the thing
road.
is with the way the playoff format is set now, it doesn't matter unless you're the number 1 seed anymore because the number 1 seed's the only one that gets the bye now.
Yeah, and but the bye isn't as important as a home game. So like I see both point of views as just get into the dance and you're good, but also playing at home, is a big deal. You get that. It just I don't know. It's just that home cooking, as they like to say. So moving on to the last topic of the night here of panic or not to panic. The Buffalo Bills gave up a 10-point second half lead to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We definitely just never saw that explosion from the Buffalo Bills or on Sunday. So Tori, is it time for the Buffalo Bills to panic of like, why isn't our offense working right now?
I don't think so. It's week 1. And I don't try to overreact to anything in week 1. There's lots of players that had really good performances that are going to be terrible players 2 weeks from now. And there's a lot of players that had terrible weeks this week and are going to be great players 2 weeks from now. So I don't put a lot of stock into week 1, and I try not to overreact to it. So no, I don't think you push the panic button for the Buffalo Bills as of yet. They are still pretty much head and shoulders above anybody else in the AFC East right now. So they can afford to toss a couple of games here and there and lay an egg. And that was one game they kind of laid an egg because I don't think anybody picked Pittsburgh to beat them.
Yeah, you are very, very true. Combs, do you think it's time to panic in Buffalo, Bills Mafia?
No, you're still the Buffalo Bills. You still play in not the toughest division in the world. I mean, you've got 2 decent teams in Miami and New England, but they're not really good teams. You're still heads and tails above them. And you're going to be, at least at the very worst, you're going to be a 4 seed. And look, they're not that bad. They had a rough week 1. It was a tough start. They don't have a very tough matchup. Well, they do have a tough matchup week 2. It's the Miami Dolphins. They need to win that game in Miami, which is another tough place to play. Miami is a sneaky tough place to play. But then you get Houston on the schedule as well. Tennessee and Jacksonville and the Jets are your out of division games. So they've got an all right road. They don't have the toughest schedule in the world. It's not time to panic in Buffalo.
So you guys are all telling me that it is not time to panic in Buffalo, but I want to tell you why it is time to panic in Buffalo. Just because earlier in this offseason, we said this is Josh Allen's year to step up and prove that he is an elite quarterback. This is his year to take over the NFL, lead the Bills to the Super Bowl, be an MVP type of player, yada, yada, yada. And we definitely did not see that from Josh Allen this week 1. And you can say what you want about the Pittsburgh Steelers. I still don't think they're going to be a very good team this year. Combs, I do have to agree with you that they're going to be really up and down all season. And I think we've seen they're at their highest, so they're going to be like a lot more lows coming from the Pittsburgh Steelers. But with that being said, the Buffalo Bills are now to hunted. There is always a different philosophy of like when like you are the hunter hunting people, but now the Buffalo Bills are the hunted. Teams are going to give them their best shot week after week after week, and they cannot lay this eggs. If they want to, Tori, what you had them going 13-4 or 15-2, I can't remember.
I think I am going 15-2.
Yeah, so if they want to go 15-2 in the NFL, they have to start playing well, and they cannot give up a 10-point lead, no matter how bad or good the team is. It's definitely time to panic in Buffalo.
I have Buffalo too. I have Buffalo at 14-3. I did not have them lose in week 1, but it's they're not. They don't have to panic. Again, they could be worse than 14-3. They could win this division at probably 13-4. You give them this one loss you didn't see coming. The other losses I have are Kansas City, Tampa Bay, and one of the games in New England later in the season. you don't have to panic in Buffalo at all. The easy schedule, the not so tough division. You're better than every team in your division. You be a top 4 team, and you go into the playoffs, and as a top 4 seed, you're going to be all right. It's not that big of a deal. They can win on the road. This team can win on the road.
So, Tori, are the Buffalo Bills a team that have to have a home game in the playoffs to succeed in the playoffs?
No. This is a team that's dangerous no matter where they play. Like I said, the big thing for them, they have a great defense. They have good offensive weapons. Big thing for them is developing that run game. And if they develop that run game, they become one of the most complete teams in all of the AFC.
Combs, what are your thoughts on that?
No, I agree. That run game is huge for them. They've got to get it going. I think that they will. They're good enough. They're talented enough to get it going. And then Josh Allen is going to – that's when Josh Allen's really going to succeed, is once they get that run game going. Josh Allen is going to open it up. Stephon Diggs is going to be open. Cole Beasley is going to find his little slant route that he loves to run, and he's going to be open. We're racking up the yak like he always does. And the Buffalo Bills are going to be just fine.
But that's the problem is the receivers were open. They just weren't catching the balls.
It's true. But again, it's week 1.
Okay.
It's week 1. There's a lot of rust. There wasn't a whole lot of preseason. It's strange things happen week 1.
All right. I will give you guys this week 1, and I will trump. We are up against the break. So on the other side of the break, guys, we're going to give you a special feature.
Trump. We just got kicked off Facebook and YouTube.
Did we? Seriously?
No.
Oh. Like Trump, like
said...
we're playing like euchre, not like Trump, like Donald Trump.
Oh.
Trump
like
2024. We'll right back.
Yeah, just
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhouse with Brandon Combs and Tori Anderson tonight. Guys, if you be most inclined tonight, go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and bell icon at youtube.com/Man Hour. Miss any part of the show whatsoever, you can also find us on iTunes, Spotify, and of course, iHeartRadio. And we air at 7 o'clock in the morning on Midwest Sports Network from 7 to 9. 8 a.m. we air on 313 The Flash from 8 to 10. Combs, it just keeps getting better and better and better. 9 o'clock we air on Twitter, on our old Twitter page, man_hour_Ray Radio. 10 o'clock we are on Belly Up Sports, and then 4 to 6 p.m. East Coast time we're on Big X Sports Ray Radio. So guys, if you have missed any start of this, there is no reason why you're not listening to us right now. So hit us up on all platforms whatsoever. Follow us on Twitter and, of course, the old TikTok as I upload clips up there of the boys each and every day as well. But it is time for a new special segment here. This has been dedicated for our man, Mike LeBlanc, but he is fighting the old Rona. So I'm going to take his place tonight on Mike's thoughts. So, guys, sit back and relax and enjoy because I got some thoughts on my head.
so instead of Mike's thoughts, we're having Buck stuttering nonsense.
Tricks.
Mike's thoughts.
And my thoughts for tonight, guys, is going to go out to the fast food industry here lately. So I get out of football practice about 6:15 tonight, and my wife calls me and says, hey, go stop by Taco Bell and pick up some Taco Bell. We are hungry. So as you guys know, Taco Bell is considered fast food. It is not sit down and wait for an hour to get your food. I was in the, quote, fast food line for over 35 minutes waiting for 3 freaking tacos. Guys, I don't know what is going on in this world. Like, I don't know what is like how the fast food places are up by like your thoughts, but they are offering here in Southern Indiana $18 an hour, getting paid the same day that you work, and they cannot get enough people to work at these fast food places. And it is like, honestly, I don't know how they are surviving whatsoever on these, like, because like McDonald's consistently has an hour line, and I'm not waiting an hour for a damn cheeseburger when I got a half-hour lunch. So I gotta ask your guys' thoughts on this. Like, I mean, yes, this is Mike's thoughts or whatever. But what are your thoughts on this? Like, how's the fast food world like you guys are at?
I mean, anybody who's waiting in line for an hour at McDonald's needs to reevaluate their life.
Well, you get stuck in line and you can't go forward. You can't go back.
I'm telling you right now, I would run into somebody before I get stuck in line at McDonald's for one. McDonald's is, first of all, it's atrocious. I wouldn't wait 30 seconds for McDonald's.
Wow.
Or Burger King.
Whoa.
If you do fast food, you've got to do something like Wendy's or something.
I do like Wendy's.
An A&W or something
Ain't
like
nobody
that.
beating the king of Hardee's.
But I'm not going, like, if I'm waiting an hour in a drive-through, it's going to be like at a Portillo's. It's going to be at, like, I won't even, not even Chick-fil-A. Oh, Cops. Oh my God.
I have no idea what
That
you guys are
damn
talking
place.
about. Talk about like real restaurants, not
Cops
freaking
is a
TV
real
shows.
restaurant.
I'm
Cops
telling you
is a
right now,
TV show.
when you go to Green Bay for
Here-
the game,
Green Bay
need
doesn't have a
Cops.
cops.
you need to
They're
stop
only-
in Milwaukee on your way up, and you need to go to a Cops. And whatever burger or chicken sandwich you get, add the bacon. Whatever you do, just add the bacon.
Okay, so
Next, BC and I are going on our mandate.
next Monday when I head up to Green Bay to watch the Detroit Lions beat the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field on Monday night, I will Facebook Live me eating this. What's Cobb's, like COBB?
Cops.
Cops.
K-O-P-P-S.
COPPS. Yeah.
KOPPS.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm telling you. And then you've got to get something from their ice cream. Dude, I got this thing. It was called a peanut butter
It's called
log.
2 Girls, 1 Cup.
Oh,
It's called a peanut butter log. And you've got vanilla ice cream in a sundae bowl with like hot chocolate, and then they've got like a hot peanut butter sauce. Oh my God, dude! I'm telling you, that is the place. That's the only good thing about Milwaukee.
Brandon gained 10 pounds just talking about it.
poor guy.
And my shorts got tighter.
So Cobb's is so. Am I
Cops.
good-
Cops.
K-O-P-P-S.
Cops. I'm gonna
P.
end up,
P
end up
as
on
in
cops.
F the police.
Cops. So, am I going to be spending an hour in line at this Cops place?
No. About 15 minutes at the most. I'm telling you, it's worth it.
I cannot stand going to fast food restaurant right now, guys. It just pisses me off.
Well,
to no
Culver's is good. Always
Don't,
good too.
No, Culver's.
That's
is
worth
That's
it.
horrible.
That's always 40-minute wait right there. Jeez.
Yeah, Culver's and Chick-fil-A. Why are you waiting in line
Give
for
me-
Chick-fil-A?
Right. Give me Popeyes. Give me Popeyes any day
Yeah.
of the week.
Dude,
over
first of all-
Chick-fil-A.
I take Aubrey to Chick-fil-A because she loves Chick-fil-A. That's her favorite place. So when I take her to Chick-fil-A, she gets like the 50-piece chicken nugget. First of all, who the hell gets a 50-piece?
I do at McDonald's. Those are freaking amazing.
They
Sweet
don't
and sour
have a
sauce.
50-piece at McDonald's.
You
do
get
they?
2 20s and a 10. It's 50.
And
When I was
McDonald's,
in high school,
McDonald's
that was my thing
nuggets.
before baseball
McDonald's
practice was a 20
nuggets
piece
are
and a root
awful.
beer. Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
all
they
the
are awful.
it's all the pink sauce or whatever it is.
that's not sauce, man. It's like rubber. You know,
What is
have
it?
you ever seen how they make erasers on pencils?
Yeah.
Same way they make chicken nuggets.
So let's talk about chicken. I think KFC is better than both Popeyes and Chick-fil-A.
Oh, you're out of your
You
mind.
are out of your mind.
You are out of your mind,
Straight out of your
son.
mind.
That, mute this right now. There's
need-
no
yeah,
longer Mike's
go,
thoughts. This is
go,
Mike's nonsense.
go.
There is no
Bye-bye.
damn way that KFC is better than anything, unless
I've
you want to
already-
eat a
I've-
ball of grease.
I've already muted his mic.
But people can still hear me on the live stream because I got the controls over here. So ha 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 ha.
You get a ball of grease, and half the time they get your order wrong. I'm not going to KFC.
The thing is, so here's the thing. KFC is good for their bowls. The KFC bowls are the best.
Wait, are we still talking about chicken?
Yeah.
Or-
Yes. So the popcorn chicken.
Stupid.
I mean, you have.
Wah,
That's what you have to do if you're going to KFC and thinking it's good.
Right.
Smoke a little
You-
bowl first.
They're the KFC bowls with the corn and the gravy and the popcorn chicken and the cheese are pretty good. That's the best thing on their menu. But hands down,
Popeyes
Popeyes
Oh my
chicken
God.
sandwiches blows
Their
everybody out
chicken
of the
sandwich.
that breading.
Their
That
chicken.
breading.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Does it-
Yes. The chicken alone.
Does it literally blow
Yes.
people out of the water? Because it does.
Says the guy who went to Taco Bell on the way home.
Right.
No.
And the guy, it's like, I
You
think
guys didn't hear
KFC's
that?
the best one out there.
You guys didn't hear that story where the people got like killed over a Popeyes chicken sandwich, like when it came out, like the spicy chicken.
Oh yeah. I did hear about that
No.
one. Because the lines were like ridiculously long.
They were
And then you
long.
tried the sandwich, and you're like, I don't know if it was that good. I mean, it was good. but
Was
I
it
don't
to
know if
die
was
over?
that
Because you
good.
just died.
Yeah.
I was like, idiots. I just ordered it on like Uber Eats and
You know
got
how
it,
many
so-
people got pissed off that you had the Popeyes app and you walk in and you pick it up that it's waiting while they're sitting in line?
be like, suckers. And that's the other thing. Who goes to a restaurant, a fast food restaurant anymore without ordering it online?
Yeah.
Like McDonald's, you just pull in and say, like, I'm here, give me my food.
Yep.
So it comes
I
out
do, I-
cold.
Taco
and,
Bell.
Dude,
Jeez.
let's talk about subs. Is there anything better than Firehouse?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jimmy John's.
No, Jimmy John's is awful. Jimmy John's is horrible. Stop
See,
it.
we got a place here called Melio's, and I think Melio's is better.
Oh, Firehouse subs to me is the best.
They
I
are
go to
good.
Firehouse subs all the time, and they've got their own special like cherry limeade that they make. Oh man, that's the best.
We have a Penn Station here. Like, do you guys have Penn Stations?
Oh, I love. We don't have Penn Station here, but
No.
I love Penn Station subs.
I've never even been to one.
Yeah.
Penn Station
have to
subs
try
are
that.
pretty good.
We
They're
have a place called
pretty good.
Mr. Submarine out here that does pretty good subs. Their pickles are the best.
Well, since we're talking about food, hamburgers, is Five Guys the best hamburgers out there?
Hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Best burger and
That-
fries.
Yeah.
Yep. No, not even
Yeah.
a comparison there at that point.
I had a
Yeah.
Hawaiian burger at Bubba's.
Oh, okay, shut up. You've already
We're
lost
already
us
three.
because you said Hawaii burger.
There was
pretty good. Had
There was a
pineapple on it.
burger I had a couple months back when Michelle and I went out to Buffalo Wild Wings to watch a game. I had a burger. It's called the All American Burger. That was really freaking good.
Buffalo Wild
That
Wings
was-
has gone downhill.
Did you
since
just say you had a burger
bought
at Buffalo Wild
I
Wings?
did have a burger at Buffalo Wild Wings. And it was like one of the best burgers I've ever had in my life.
Buffalo Wild Wings has gone so downhill since Wendy's purchased it?
You are out of your mind.
It's
Buffalo
terrible.
Wild Wings has not gone downhill.
Yes, it's
You're-
it's
you're
the worst
downhill.
wings. I'd rather go to Hooters for the actual wings and not the looks. And
Hooters wings are awful.
like I'm saying,
Awful.
that's what I'm saying. But I'd rather go to Hooters and beat
Who
ups right
goes to
now.
Hooters for the wings?
I do every now and then.
Lion ass. That's Michelle's favorite place, though.
Is
No lie. She asks all this shit. Can we go to Hooters? I hate Hooters food.
Their food, I don't like. I
yeah.
do not like the breading on
Yeah.
their wings. The
The-
breading on
it-
their
it-
wings is awful.
Yeah, and if I'm going to Hooters with Michelle, I'm getting slapped. So I'm not going to Hooters. It's not.
So we're talking
Are you
about
saying,
food.
are you
What
saying
is the
Michelle has none?
what is the best
she does.
restaurant that you guys gone to?
Like fast food?
No, just like
or-
restaurant in general. Like,
Oh, in
like Red
general?
Lobster,
Ooh.
Olive Garden, whatever.
Who the
there's
hell
a
says
place-
Red Lobster?
I'm just throwing
There's
names
a
out
place
there.
here in Chicago that's really good, but it's central to Chicago. But it's it's called Cooper's Hawk Winery. Dude, this
Ooh,
has the
I have a
most
Cooper-
mouth-watering steak.
I have a Cooper's Hawk winery by me. There's
They
one
have-
here.
dude. I'm telling you right now. Have you been there yet?
I haven't been there yet.
Go and get the steak medallions, the Parmesan crusted steak medallions with the if you like you can do shrimp or you can do scallops. I do scallops with mine. I am telling you right now, you are never gonna have a better steak in your life.
Ooh,
I'm telling
pretty,
you.
That's
And
pretty
I've been like
bold.
I love steak, man. I love it. This is the best steak I've ever had. Like I love my second favorite place is the Texas Roadhouse. Because I love Texas Roadhouse. I love picking out my own freaking piece of steak and having them cook it. Dude, I love Texas Roadhouse. And their rolls with that cinnamon butter
Oh,
that
yeah.
they have.
Ugh.
Oh
Ah.
my god. Oh, you're out of
Tori's a
your mind. It's
diabetic, so like
good.
he can't have it.
No,
Oh.
but I do not like cinnamon butter. Hate it. I will
Oh my
ask them,
God.
can I have regular butter? Because that stuff is awful.
Drew says
Nobody
that Five
goes to
Guys made
Texas
him sick
Roadhouse and asks
twice.
for regular butter.
I do.
Oh my god.
You guys know what the best restaurant is though?